There isn't a teacher shortage and there isn't a teacher candidate shortage. What there is a shortage of is a combination of people willing to put up with low pay in areas where there are low pay, and a shortage of openings for teachers in areas with high pay. You'll find in high pay areas like New York and California that in a teacher prep class, you might have 100 to 120 people per year per college, which is a lot. I was recently enrolled in a teacher prep program at my college. It was a combined master's and bachelor's degree. I earned a bachelor's degree in English in December of last year and was pursuing the master's degree with initial and professional certification in my state. I am still pursuing a master's degree, however, it is no longer with a certification because that degree is no longer going to fit my needs. And there were a lot of things that I learned during the degree, during the during the multiple semesters that I was in. And one of the things that I learned was that AI is being pushed into education, and I did not like that. I was very, very against generative AI. Now, does that mean that I'm against all AI? No, not at all. The NASCAR Cup Series tomorrow, or on Sundays for right now, is on Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime has this really cool thing that in the first stage of the race, they have an AI that analyzes the data of the fuel by analyzing throttle time, brake time, off throttle time, all of that stuff. And it tells you the fuel burn that it gets. And then during the second and third stage of the race, it adds that data in and it shows you the fuel burn rate. And at Michigan International Speedway, we were able to see who might run out of fuel, who might not run out of fuel, who was saving, all of that. That's a great use of AI. What's not a great use of AI is trying to get students to write essays, because essays are a way of learning. What you do when you're writing is you go and you look up information, you gather that information, and then you think about that information, and then you synthesize your thoughts into a final written output. This is a form of composition. It's a form of writing as well. I have not gathered much information about this. I've just decided to just go on about this video. So in the spring semester, I took 4 classes. One class was called Readings in Multicultural Literature. It was taught by a adjunct professor who was also a high school teacher. At her high school, generative AI had been completely banned. In her syllabus, it was completely banned. The class was interesting. I didn't use AI at all. In fact, at one point, I probably could have for something useful. But because she had completely banned it, even though it would have been useful and it would have been an accessibility tool, I didn't. What it was we had a video assignment, and she said, do not use AI whatsoever. So I did not put generated auto captions on it because I wasn't going to type that all out. I'm fine with stuff like that. Uh, my second class was Media, Pop Culture, and ELA. Several times throughout the year, we were prompted to use AI to generate our responses or to interact with discussion board posts or material. It was really weird. The main text we read was Fahrenheit 451. Which was interesting considering the amount of censorship going on in America right now, and also really interesting because AI is a way to stop people from reading. And in Fahrenheit 451, people really stopped reading, and then as they stopped reading, the government was like, let's just burn the books and get rid of them. And I've seen other people make this comparison as well, and I was like, like, read it. Like, I don't need you to tell me what Dungeon Mesh is about. I'm going to go read it. In fact, I'm already on volume 5 right now, and it's awesome, and I love it. But if you had spoiled it for me by telling me, oh yeah, just ask ChatGPT about it, I would have probably been very angry. Now, I had another class called Technology and Curriculum Development Integration. So yes, AI was used in that. I did not have a problem with using AI in that because it was not the way that the other classes used it. What it was use AI and evaluate it. Tell me if it did what you wanted to do. Tell me if you think this would be helpful for students. Tell me if this would be harmful for students. Give me pros, give me cons, explain how you would use it, explain how you would avoid it, explain how if there's an academic integrity violation, you would notice that. Totally cool with that. Teachers absolutely need to be taught that. And then there was digital video media composition, or digital video literacy composition, which was basically a writing class about video, which was fine. It was interesting. We did a lot of videos. We did a lot of video editing. I learned a little bit about video editing from that. I don't know if you've noticed this, but I've been using what's it called? I've been using Clipchamp to do video editing. It's been getting the noise out. It's been helping me plate the videos where I have multiple clips, things of that nature. Really cool, cool skills. We wanted us to make a storyboard with AI. Now I ran a convention at the school. We, as a committee, asked our members how they would feel if artists and vendors were selling AI art. 100% of people who were the members of the club said ban it. 100% of the officers of the club said ban it. And I got an assignment literally the day after we did this to make a storyboard with AI. And I did it because I was told to. Ended up having a meeting with the dean and it got ridiculous and blah, blah, blah. A whole bunch of stuff happened. And then I sent a bunch of emails afterwards explaining why I wasn't happy. And it ended up with me getting called into another meeting because they wanted me to place me in student teaching at a school that was very tech forward and cutting edge curriculum, which are both things that I'm again because I prefer to work with tech, not no tech, and things that are proven to work. I actually looked at the school they were going to place me at. It had a 4% graduation rate, which was ridiculous, and like 96% of people had failed Algebra 1. I did not like that. Um, but I got called into a meeting and they were like, "We have concerns about your ability to teach now." And I had been considering dropping out at the time. Blah 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 blah. A whole bunch of stuff happened. They were like, "Well, we can offer you the chance to do the degree without it leading to certification because." They had just said, "We're not going to let you continue in the degree." I would have been able to file a massive lawsuit. One of the problems they had was my social media presence, which I was like, I don't know if you've noticed this. I'm going to make another video about this later. I don't know if you've noticed this, but my output's been increased by a lot, and I'm very happy about that. Um, Social media is awesome. I love it. It helps me. I've connected with people with millions of followers, connected with people I never would have met through this, and that's awesome. Um, Now, with that being said, I was very upset throughout the meeting, and I was like, yeah, okay, fine, I'll do that. Because I had been thinking about dropping out, but if I had just completely just dropped out, it would have been a problem. Obviously, getting a master's degree is something very useful in terms of things like future employment and stuff like that. But in the year I was in, so people who are going to be student teaching next year in their final year of the master's program, there were 150 people. Now, they're looking for places for 150 people to student teach in the area that we're in, which, okay, there's other teaching schools too looking for that. For a full year, too, by the way. So I wouldn't have had time for a job, which would have been a problem. But I don't think all 150 people are going to be placed. I think a large amount of people are going to be going into meetings like the ones that I had, and they're going to whittle it down to 30 or 40 people. And by doing that, they're going to say, we have a 100% placement rate or a 100% success rate. Because it's like, oh, yeah, we have people from, the earlier years who don't finish. And it's a problem. It's an absolute problem, but it's something that you got to deal with. I'm okay with what happened because I had been considering dropping out anyway. But with all that being said, the teacher shortage in places where they don't pay well, where in like the southern states where maybe you're getting paid the equivalent of $12 to $15 an hour, it's real. It's real because but it's not a shortage of qualified teachers. It's a shortage of people willing to take that pay. You want that pay up, you're going to find enough people to take those jobs. And those people are going to come from areas inside that state, outside that state, all over the place because there's so many people. And in a lot of states where I am, if you want to teach, you're required to have a master's degree. In a lot of other states, you only need a bachelor's degree. New York, California, and Washington require a master's degree. And I think Massachusetts as well. But that's 46 other states that I don't think do. And there are plenty of people qualified to teach. who want to, but don't want to get paid $12 an hour. And it's a pay issue.
And again, thank you for tuning into the videos. Don't forget that you can also see me on Patreon at Sammy5436, where it's $1 a month. I also am seeable on Instagram at Sammy5436. What? In TikTok at Sammy5436. I'm on Blue Sky at Sammy5436, though I don't use that often. I believe I'm on Tumblr at Sammy5436, but I haven't used that in at least a year. And you can find me at my business email, thetrapezoidtalks5436 at gmail.com. Any information you need to send to those business emails will be looked at. I generally look at my business email on Wednesdays and Sundays, so just do be advised that I do not always have the ability to respond immediately, but if you do send an email to my business email, and as long as it's not offensive, I will respond if it's something I'm interested in with something positive, and if it's something I'm not interested in, I will thank you for your email and go ahead and say that there may be a future opportunity for us to collaborate if that's something you're interested in.